I had a couple ways to feel about the Galaxy S8, and I wasn't sure how to go with the video, so I decided for this one I'm gonna have a split personality disorder, and you get to experience which one you agree with the most and which one you find more relatable. So first off, the unbiased tech reviewer. Today, Samsung released the Galaxy S8, which is their attempt to redeem the mistakes of the Note 7, and they're including a lot of the features that the Note 7 had, like USB-C with a headphone jack, which a lot of us still enjoy, an iris scanner, so you can unlock your phone with your eyeballs, a way to make GIFs within Samsung's Android Skin OS, and of course, this is still a Galaxy phone, so you're getting all of those exclusive features like wireless charging, those curved displays, which are the only option now. There's no longer a flat screen version, because Samsung is deciding this is the future. And that display, as I am on that topic, is the primary reason people are excited about the S8 and why most people will buy it. It's so incredibly tall, they removed the physical button, all the buttons at the bottom in fact. Although there is still a taptic engine on the inside that will vibrate to give the illusion of a physical click, but it's only on the bottom, it's not for the rest of the phone. This of course has IP68 water resistance, which means it's water and dust proof, which is really great. And this display works with HDR, so things are gonna look very colorful, very bright. On the regular S8, you get a 5.8-inch display, which is like, wow. Massive display in a pretty small form factor. And with the S8 Plus, which, as you can imagine, is larger, you get a 6.2-inch display, which has been a very long time since a flagship smartphone has shipped with such a large display. But because they figured out a way to make these bezels almost invisible with their new Infinity display, it's as if it's not even there. So you can comfortably house an over 6-inch display that still fits comfortably in your pocket. The specs are not that bad either, which for the people who are demoing the S8 right now are saying is seamless. They can't get it to slow down. 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes internally, and that is the only storage option, which is great, right? 64 gigs, that's pretty good. And obviously, like the S7, we have expandable storage. And some versions, the international versions, will support dual SIM cards, which is kind of new and neat. One of the big new attractions with the S8 was Bixby, a very smart digital assistant that Samsung claims you can, with your voice, do anything you can do with the phone you used to do with your finger, which that's pretty impressive. The camera bulge on the back is essentially not there, but you'll also find a fingerprint reader, so things are looking a bit symmetrical, but might get a little annoying when you want to unlock with your fingerprint and accidentally put it over the camera and you smudge your lens a bit. But I think they care more about their new forms of security with face detection and the iris scanner, which are really cool. They also talked about DeX, this new way you can plug your phone into a very specific kind of dock and you can pair it with a keyboard and trackpad and have a desktop-like experience powered by your Samsung Galaxy S8, which is interesting. It looks like Samsung is trying to breach into their own desktop kind of operating system a little bit. Very curious to see how it handles in the real world. Sort of like what Windows has done with their Windows mobile phones. Maybe this time people will actually buy it. The camera has the same sensor as last year, but with dual pixel support, which means it's going to be taking lots of photos. Whenever you press that button, it'll be taking lots and combining them to the best of the phone's ability so that you have very little motion blur and you're able to see things in low light. So we can imagine the camera is going to be pretty cool. But it is the same sensor as last year, which has a couple people bummed out. But not to worry, the front-facing camera is now 8 megapixels and it has autofocus. And of course, it's Samsung's classic wide angle, so you can expect your selfie game to go up a little bit. It's also very nice to see that Samsung will be including premium earbuds with the purchase of any S8 that separately would ordinarily cost $99. So these aren't your classic earbuds. These are actually premium headphones, which it's nice to see that Samsung is trying to prove that the headphone jack is still very capable by shipping very nice earbuds with every S8. Pre-order should start tomorrow, and the product officially goes live in April 21st, which is a little bit away, and we don't exactly know what the price is yet. By most of the people watching this video, you probably have heard already. So essentially now, Apple is completely outdated because they're still relying on LCD screens. They don't have the headphone jack, they don't have wireless charging, and the iPhone feels like a dinosaur next to the S8 with its thin bezels, curved display, and premium features as well as modern day ports. Frankly, things look a little bit embarrassing for Apple right now. I hope they can step up their game. What do you think of the S8? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe for our new giveaway, which is not happening. It's time for the truth. What the heck is wrong? Samsung doesn't understand how to surprise people anymore. You've been leaking the S8 for the past 30 days. And hey, you know what the Galaxy phones used to do? You know what they used to do? They realized that Android sucked. So with features and hardware, they always matched that of the previous generation iPhone as to give incentive, right? This is why you want the S8. It's better than the iPhone. Are we all forgetting about stereo speakers? Everyone seemed to be really into that until Apple did it. Now everyone's like, no, make it glass and aluminum. We don't need stereo speakers. Yeah, because every Galaxy phone I've ever used boost. As soon as your finger covers up that speaker, zoop, you can't hear a dang thing. So much for limitless design, right? That's all the guy in the keynote wanted to talk about. This pushes the boundaries of what a smartphone can be because we know how to remove bezels. It's an infinity display because you don't know where the display ends. Yeah, you see the chin? It's not gone. Guys, you didn't delete it. It's right there. It's just half as big as it used to be. When you come up with something as cool as this, yeah, let me know, but don't call it an infinity display. Yes, we know where the screen ends. It stops lighting up. And Samsung, since you had to keep the headphone jack because you want to steal Apple's customers, it's not gonna work. They went with the iPhone because of the operating system, not because of the hardware. Samsung, you're not getting it. You had to include a pretty standard sized battery. 3000 milliamps. Great. I'm sure you're over 500 pixels per inch on a 6-inch phone is not gonna hurt the battery life that much, is it? And there's no removable battery because Apple doesn't do that, so why should they? I think there's a reason they were afraid to tell us what kind of battery life we'll be getting out of these things. It's because they don't want you to think about it. They just want you to think about fast charging with USB-C and wireless charging. That's cool, right? We made a charger that can stand up. Hinges by Samsung. We're clever. Yeah. Right. You just would have removed the headphone jack, you would have pissed off a bunch of people. Yeah, I get that. But you could have had a much bigger battery that can support that giant display you're gonna have on the front that can't be very power friendly, given you had to redesign the entire phone on the inside. It's gonna support HDR, right? And hey, remember those days when you could unlock your phone while it was sitting on a desk or resting on your bed? Not anymore because of fingerprint readers on the back. Yeah, we copied the Google Pixel's dumbest feature. So now, every time you want to unlock your phone, you're gonna have to grab it and lift it up at yourself and go, wait, I can't see me, because face detection is fast, but it doesn't work unless you pick up the phone. What I love about my iPhone is it can just be sitting there and I can just put my finger on it and it just opens. I don't have to stare into its eyes. I used the Note 7. I reviewed it back before it was recalled. I know that the iris scanner doesn't work unless it's about 2 feet away from your face. So you can't casually pick it up and go, hey, unlock. No. You have to go, unlock. I'm staring into the scanner. Why doesn't it understand me? Great security feature, Samsung. Most of your fans just turn it off anyway or use the passcode, to be honest. And I hate to say it, but that digital home button you have on the screen looks a heck of a lot like this. It's just a little confusing for me. Oh, and Bixby, because every time I'm holding my phone, don't you hate that annoying thing of tapping the display? You know, multi-touch, that dumb thing. Isn't it so much faster to just articulate exactly what you want while staring at it? Open Instagram, like photo, scroll. Open camera, take selfie, great selfie, share to social media, post to Twitter, no, keep. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot better. So it's like the Google Assistant, except without all of the knowledge. It's just really great if you don't have any hands. It's so great, in fact, that you gave it its own button on the side. That's not gonna confuse people, right? See, before you had the volume rockers on one side and the on and off button on the other, because, you know, that's easy to remember. People can feel for that. Now let's just add more buttons. Let's confuse the crap out of them. Now they're gonna try to turn their phone on because, hey, there's no physical home button on the front, so when you take your phone out of your pocket, it's gonna be kind of hard to tell which orientation it's at when the display's not on, because it's just a solid piece of glass. So now you're gonna press the Bixby button, and it's gonna be like, hey, how can I help you today? I watch your every move. That's why I'm gonna anticipate what you want now. It would take you this long to drive home. I know I'm at my friend's house. I'm here every Tuesday. You call people often at this time. You wanna call them now? I was going to, but now I kinda don't want to just because you're being a smart aleck about it. Shut up, Bixby! Oh, and you know how smartphones are getting more and more powerful internally? Like the specs, you know, they're getting up there. So instead of trying to make a mobile professional operating system that you can take with you, why not take a step backwards, buy a monitor, a specialized dock, a keyboard and trackpad to pair with your phone so you can have a really crappy desktop experience with Dext or Bixby. I dare someone to talk about Galaxy products with a lisp. It's hilarious. Just talk to Hello Bixby to activate the Dext operation on my new Galaxy. And is this thing really water resistant? Because I took my Note 7 in the shower and you know what happened? It got madder that there's moisture in the USB-C port. Okay, well, are you water resistant, or is it just throw me in water and then be really careful what you do with me afterwards? Because then it's not water resistance really, it's just being careful with your phone. Also, I bet everyone out there is gonna love your edge-to-edge display when they're watching any YouTube video ever. That, of course, you know, is 16:9, that aspect ratio, so that when you're watching it on your S8, you're gonna have the biggest bezels you've ever seen. On either side, it's almost worse than just watching it on a regular iPhone, because at least then the display is going edge to edge, playing all of that video. With the S8, we're gonna have all this black space. You didn't want to put put like controls there. You don't want to put like a blurred background there so you can just show off how awesome that display is. No, just gonna have these black bars every time you watch a 16:9 video. That's gonna annoy me to death. And I can see you're afraid to tell everyone how much it is. That shows your confidence in this product. Typically, if they don't want to tell us what it is on the day of release, that means it's more expensive than usual. So definitely expect this to be a bit more pricey than the last year model. If it's not, then hey, I'm wrong, sorry. But if Samsung truly expects to redeem themselves from the Note 7, this thing better be cheap. They might even want to undercut the competition. Quite frankly, a lot of people aren't gonna buy the S8 because they already bought a product red iPhone. For all you YouTubers out there saying that the iPhone 7 is crap, keep in mind that came out 7 months ago. The iPhone 8 isn't even 7 months away. You're comparing very, very different generational products. And yeah, most people are gonna choose the iPhone 7. But if you're gonna ask me what you should buy right now, I'm not even gonna say the iPhone 7. I'm gonna say you should wait for the iPhone 8. If you need a Samsung phone right now, obviously get the S8. But all I'm saying is this was a disappointing and stupid refresh in my book. It's just that we knew everything they talked about. There was no surprises. Whatever. Okay, so did you relate to one of those more than the other? Love to hear about it in the comments below. Let's have a fairly civil debate about the Galaxy S8. If you want to know my personal opinions, it's fine. I'm somewhere in the middle of those two characters. I don't think I'm gonna get it. It's not that impressive. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.